Alright, so I've had several folks ask how these Vigor Air Ride on the rear of the Escalade have been doing, and would they pick the trailer up like the eBay ones that I showed in the other video. So I figured I'd make a video real quick just to show everybody how the bigger ones are holding up here after the install. I don't know what it's been, 6 months or so we've been running them. So if we look up under the truck, I'll show you that these are the bigger ones. We'll just keep the camera running so you'll know. They're right up under here. If I can find where they are. Right there. They still say Vigor on them. That's where I wrote on them when I did the first video. So you can see these are still the Vigor shocks, and they're still airing up fine and doing everything. So let's get set up over here, and we will duplicate what we did by putting the weight of the same trailer on the same vehicle, and then we'll watch with the square and see how it picks up. And this time I got the square up higher so I don't hit my trim like I did on the last video, if y'all remember that, about broke my trim off playing around with that square right there. So let's get the camera back on the tripod, and then I'll lower this thing down, and then we'll see. I'll put a little mark on the square like I did before, and we'll see how it airs up. Alright, so we're zoomed in here on the back of the hitch, so let me just mark the top of this. I'll just mark right up here with the green line, and we'll see when I put the trailer down on it, it should lower down, and then when they pump up, it should pump up. Probably not going to get all the way back to the top again. The other shocks wouldn't do it either, but we shall see if when it lowers down, if it'll pump itself back up. Alright, so let's get this thing lowered down. And the truck is running, so when I put the load on it, it ought to trigger it, and it ought to take off pumping. There we go. We got our full weight of the trailer on it. So now let's see if these guys will pick up. And there goes the compressor. So let's see if it lifts it back up, how high it gets. There you go. So that was the first lift. And there goes the compressor. So let's see if it lifts it back up, how high it gets. Brought it back up a pretty good ways. It'll only run so long, and then it just shuts off, and so you would have to trick it again. So I could probably bounce it. There it goes. So it hit the trigger again, so now it ought to go on up, and that's as far as it went. So it cut off and cut back on. So that's about the height that the Vigor shocks will pick it up, but it still raises it up fine. And then as the load changes, it'll cut back on and off. So now let's raise the weight back off of it and see if it'll go back down. Now I'm going to take the weight back off the truck. This is where I risk knocking my trim off like I did before, or almost did before. I didn't knock it off. Now we got the trailer weight off, and I heard it exhaust, so it dropped it back down a little bit. And if I get back on the vehicle, you can see it's working its way on back down. It's airing off until it hits its position again. So there you go. So it looks like the Vigor shocks are still working fine. We can try it one more time just for giggles and see. If I put the load back on it, will it air itself back up because it's aired off? We'll try it one more time and just see what it do. There it goes. Cut back on again. I hear it pumping. raising itself back up. There we go. So right back up to the height that was on the first go. So that must be the height that the vehicle's happy because it cut it off. And we're in good shape to run on down the road with the trailer. Well, I already hope that helps somebody out on a comparison of how the Vigor Shocks do. And thanks for watching.